Hi everybody, happy Sunday. Hope you're doing well. This is an impromptu video on answering your questions in the Forensic Healing the Awakening group, and to give you some tips on what to do during this plandemic or really any crises that you come across. Well, Sanya asked me a question in the Forensic Healing Facebook group about, hi Eva, hi people, about me meeting Oprah and how I would view that meeting now with Oprah in light of the information that we know that she's compromised severely. She takes adrenochrome. She's involved in the child trafficking ring and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to answer that question because I met Oprah in Uluru. First and foremost, as with most of us, we didn't know about this Hollywood thing that's going on, about how they're all compromised, that Hollywood is actually run by the cabal. They're the ones that program us. They're the ones that create the movies, which are full of rituals and spells, which I have talked about previously, about a child just getting a spell from watching The Wizard of Oz. So there's all sorts of stuff in movies, and you know that movies affect you. And if you're vulnerable to being programmed, you'll be easily programmed. It's just this mesmerizing programming that's been taking place for a long time. So I used laws of attraction to attract her. So I had on my vision board, I want to meet Oprah. Well, and I did. I met her, well, accidentally or not accidentally. It was about 10 years ago when I was writing the Forensic Healing System. I was up to the Spirit module, and I kept getting clients that were telling me, they said, oh, you should go to Uluru. And I go, well, that's a message. I've been getting this message about now the third time. And I said to my ex at the time, let's go. He organized the date that we would go to Uluru. And I thought I would get more information. I want to go meet a witch doctor. It was my intention to meet a witch doctor in Uluru. So we're at the cultural center. We're at the cultural center. And then there's this lady at the checkout. And I started chatting, as I do. And I just did this healing on her, as you do, right? And then I said, oh, you don't know where I can meet a witch doctor? And, well, she says, well, funny, well, yes, come back to meet some Aborigines. So I did. We went back. We went to these back roads, and we met these Aborigines. And Aborigines are very, you might say, closed. They hesitate to trust people, and they don't reveal what they do. So what it ended up happening was I ended up doing healings on these people, and they didn't really reveal much to me about I didn't get any information about how it really works. But long story short, I got some information about how they get all their signs and their symbols from nature. They'll say that if there's a cloud, this means this. If the tree's doing that, they have all these symbols in the way that they view, nature. Just as we view our hand or our feet, everything is symbolized. Everything is everything has a pattern, I should say, in it. There's a pattern and a pattern and a pattern. Just like the people we hang out with will have similarities to us. Everything is a pattern. So they read nature like that. That's what I got basically from meeting them. Anyway, all right, so what happened was there was one guy that particularly liked me, and he was in the know. No one else was really in the know that Oprah was coming. And he told me, said Oprah's coming. Yet when I questioned people at bars and places, or restaurants, they honestly didn't know. I could tell by when I asked that question. Did they know Oprah was coming? Anyway, so she was coming, and he said on this date she's coming. So we were due to fly out the day before she was supposed to come. So we changed our flight to the next day to allow us to be there when she was coming. Anyway, so we don't know when she's coming, when she's going to arrive or anything. She could be anywhere. So I'm sitting in the cultural center, all dressed up, just looking around thinking, well, she's not here. And then my ex at that time said, well, let's go for a walk in this new place. Let's go for up these mountains. And we went for this big long walk. And then we came back, and I was done by that time. I said, you know what? I surrender. I give up. Let's just go home. And he said, no, let's go back to the cultural center. So I can't even remember where he said this. So let's go back. So I happened to bump into that guy again, and we asked, anyway, he said, listen, Oprah's at the cultural center. She's going to the cultural center. No, she's going to the Kania walk. Now, we knew the Kania walk because we'd been on it. So we went over to the Kania walk. It was later in the day. There was no one there. You could see that she was going to come, because you could see these guards, these security people walking up, checking out that the place is safe. So we knew. So we were basically the only ones in that area. Anyway, so yeah, she comes, and I'm super excited. I'm like, feeling really excited, and like, oh my God, I'm going to meet Oprah. And she said hi to me, and I said hi to her. And then I said something stupid, like I've been waiting forever to meet her. I don't know. And my ex was filming at that time. Anyway, they go to the Kania walk. I didn't feel anything weird, because my emotions was too excited to actually connect and see if anything weird's going on. It is a cult. I'm told that being with Oprah is a cult, and I don't know, I felt weird when I did meet the cameraman the day before. Cameramen were there the day before, and I said to them, are you with Oprah? And they said no. And I felt weird that they lied to me in the face, but I guess they had to lie. Anyway, so nothing weird. But the thing that was weird, after we got home, we looked at the footage. There was no footage of Oprah and myself talking to each other. There was only footage of her passing by in the group, so we have all that footage. But that footage that we filmed, and I couldn't understand why it never filmed of Oprah and myself meeting. And so now when I look at it, as with everything, the universe, I was never meant to have that connection, because I see that people who are connected, people that are connected, there's people who, you got to look at all these Hollywood people and who are friends with who, and those that have most of these friends in the deep state, or are all into the adrenochrome and stuff like that, then they'll all be friends with each other. So anyway, that's my story about Oprah. So I look back, and I always wondered why that video never worked, and now I can say, well, I don't have that connection with her, and the video footage just didn't run. And my ex said, I swear I had the video on. So I thought it was grounds for divorce from him when the video footage, but now it's not, right? No grounds for divorce. All right, let's get on to now the next question about what to do with this crisis, what to do with the plandemic, or how to respond. Well, there's many things that you can do. Firstly, it's this moment now, this crisis, as with any crisis, exposes your vulnerabilities. So whatever you're feeling, whatever your troubles are, there is something inside you that needs to be healed, needs to be shifted. A crisis just exposes your vulnerabilities, exposes the areas of your belief systems, exposes the areas of everything. And you can't turn around and go, well, this is the government's fault. We can't do that. You cannot ever go. You've got to go always in. When you go always in, you'll always come out more powerful. And that's why I've realized I'm never a victim, and I won't play victim. And as long as you don't play victim and you just go, unfortunately, friends, I must say, Friends of Healing is been a saving grace, because it shows you the patterns, it shows you the ages things occur, it shows you if you've got curses on you, whatever it is, or karma or whatever, it can help you. But you know what? You can still go in and feel it, and just feel and try to make sense of where does all this situation parallel, because generally it will be in your childhood. So that's the first and foremost. The next thing is, so what do you do? What do you do when you go on to you've got to understand, you've got to find the truth. So the truth will be not just hang out and go, well, I'm just going to focus on all the good and create the good. You need to know who is part of the cabal, or who is the, you know, child traffickers, who is who is trying to help the, you know, Galactic Federation, or help humanity awaken, or help bring humanity to the planet, and who is opposed to it. You have to know, because then you know where to place your energy. So it does mean that you need to go do your research and face the truth. Find out. So there's that's essential. Otherwise, you're living in ignorance, and then you might be supporting something, or placing your energy, or purchasing something, or, you know, we know there's a lot of companies that cause inhumanity. We know there's a lot of companies. In fact, I just saw an ad with Johnson & Johnson, and they had a baby, a weird looking baby. The bum was right in the picture. I thought, well, how weird is that? And then it had the coding of the pedophilia on the nappies. That's their new, it's got a coding on it. And a lot of people, parents, are now waking up to seeing the pedophilia symbol on child toys. Well, Johnson & Johnson has that, it's called Little Boy Lover code on their nappy. So this is what you need to be awake to. And now my nose is running, which it does when things are moving and shaking. So you've got to understand, you've got to seek truth, find out information. Okay, next thing. Take action. So you might think that I'll just meditate and I'll just create. No, taking action shows that you believe it. It's like saying this. You might say to yourself, I'm with somebody that's abusive. I don't deserve that. They don't change. I'll just stay in it and meditate. No, if you got to take action and set boundaries. Either leave them or do something. You can't just sit in it without taking action. Action is part of showing that you believe something, showing that, because when you take action, then the action proves your beliefs, or proves that you want to do something. Because you might say, I believe this, but then do you take action? Do you really change? Do you really say, oh, okay, no, I'm going to change jobs and I deserve a better job, but then you stay in your job just wishful thinking? The action proves that you have the courage and you really want something. Without action, it doesn't show us really anything. So action is, yes, where we go one, we go all. Absolutely, Melissa. Energy. You need to, well, I think I've got energy there. Energy is, you need to shift your energy, because we've created this as there are many reasons we've created this scenario on the planet. Reasons are that we've been asleep. Reasons are that we actually have a mission to help humanity change. Reasons are that, this is part of the ascension process and we're expanding our souls. There's many things, many reasons why you are on this planet right now. And trusting the universe instead of trusting your government, you trust the universe first and foremost, and you remove the fear, because the fear is the control. Once you have no fear, then they had no power, because everything begins with energy first. Everything starts. So if we change our energy, just like you change your energy, then they actually can't go and create and do inhumanity, because our energy doesn't match. It's like me not having, if I love truth, it's like me meeting Oprah and it never really worked out. It happens a lot in my life. Automatically things just occur, and hindsight tells me everything. Hindsight says, well, that's why that just didn't work there, because behind that was a lie, or behind that I wasn't meant to be with that person. It's like when I go I recruit someone to forensic healing. It shows up now really quickly who they are, and it never works out that I hire them. That is now. In the past, there were the signs, but I kind of would go ahead, but now it's very fast. And you have the same thing. You just have to be aware of the initial information that you get. Everything is information. Hi, Margaret. All right, boundaries. Yeah, so the boundaries are, you need to set the boundaries. All right, so this is what I do. I do have a post that I created that says, see if I can bring it up. It says, It's got this woman. It's got a kind of an angel woman. She's got wings. She's got a sword, and I'll post it later. It's like a nice uplifting post. I don't like doing dark posts, but when I see something, I throw this post up, and it says, "I do not consent to your evil satanic rituals, black magic, voodoo, sexual abuses, and programming. You are powerless over my soul's destiny to create a free world. I release myself from your corrupt timeline and choose the new humane timeline. I reclaim truth, light, freedom, integrity, empowerment, sovereignty, and love. Sayonara, au revoir, game over, I'm done." What happens when I do that? I release myself from any black magic or any stuff that they've put out there. People will read that, and that will release them. It is sort of an energetic release for myself and anyone who reads it, and it's then taking away their power, because I'm now claiming, just as they've gone and spoken cryptic words or used their symbols to program us, I've gone and thrown that up. I'll throw that up on Ellen DeGeneres or Oprah or Hillary Clinton or anything that's dark and sinister. I'll throw that up. So that's my boundary. I go, well, that's and I really, what I do need now is a post that says I will support you if you're seeking humanity. I haven't done that post yet. It's just that this week I have been teaching online the Belfast group, which was amazing, really amazing, and until the flights open up for me to fly. Good news is Sydney's going down. Don't have to change Sydney. I'll be there in Sydney, whether the flights are opened or not, because I'm in Melbourne and I can drive. So I think most people, except we've got one person from Perth, so fingers crossed she can come across. But Sydney people, we will go ahead in July. That's all good to go. No changes on that. So that's awesome. Right. So the instincts as well. So you need to use your instincts and always tune in and always ask yourself, what are you feeling? We have spent our entire lives ignoring our feelings, trying to please others, trying to present in a way that we're not judged, trying to say, have I done the right thing? We're always in our head. Well, how will they view me? Am I doing the right thing? So that blocks your instincts. When you care too much about all of that other stuff, then you block your instincts. So that is probably a little checklist of what to do in a crisis. Don't waste your pain in this. If you're in pain, pain causes a dismantling of a blueprint. And there is a lot of pain in the world. And there's a lot of people still angry and attacking outwardly, and the wrong people. They're not, and it's not bad enough for them until they don't wake up. You see, pain makes you go, oh my God, what I was believing is not true. That happens in 7-day live training, or the stories we hear of people saying, I realized my childhood was a lie. I realized that I was programmed to believe a lie. And when you can get out of a lie that you are a pure energy, that your soul is first and foremost important, that fame is nothing. In fact, fame could mean you've compromised. We're now going back to something so natural and so pure, and it's all a facade. The whole planet's been living on a facade. The TV's just been programming us with people in movies that are cast, so they're casting a spell to think that George Clooney's a hot man. Well, start doing your research on him. It looks like he's a pedophile. There's all this stuff that's really sickening, and you've got to wake up to go, I've really got to expand my soul. We're really waking up what's most important. When we expand our soul and free it and feel free in this crisis, it allows the people who are running this show, which I'll mention is Trump and their team, they're closing all the dumbs. That's the underground military bases where there's all the child trafficking, and there's cities that are almost all cities in a way, or communities that they've actually built underground, where it's all been underground. Some children have never seen the day of light. Some children are born into this. They say it's horrific and it's so bad that we would be sick. And unless you know that this sort of thing happens, then we're part of the problem, because then we might be fighting somebody that's trying to help us save humanity. Now, again, whatever I say, I do not want you to believe what I say. I want you to find it out for yourself, because otherwise you just are believing, again, doing the same thing of believing what someone else has said, what you've read in the paper. You really, if someone wants to find truth, they find truth. And that's why you start to find people that know so much about this. There was a lady in our New Zealand group, and she, I think she's in her 70s, but she's known about this for years. She thinks this is she's so happy that she's met people that now she can talk to about this stuff, or will talk back to her about this kind of thing. But the thing is, so she already knows what a lot of people are now discovering. So use this time to find truth, and you've got to undo your belief systems. You've got to go, I really want truth. The only way you're going to find truth is, first of all, be truthful with yourself on how you're programmed. I used to be programmed to be very narrow-minded, and when I was in Italy at the age 23, I was dating Vincenzo, and he was a nice guy. I was really lucky. He was a nice guy, and he said to me, he goes, Marisa, and he said it in Italian, he goes, you are very close-minded. And I said, am I? So that sat in my mind. So then when I met the Mormon church, there's these missionaries in Italy, accidentally, they jumped on the wrong bus, and we started chatting. One was an Australian serving a mission in Italy, in Florence. We started chatting, and then he gave me his card, gave me his number, and I kept getting this thing in my head, call him, you never know, call him, you never know. And then I met a friend that said, don't call them. They'll harass you and they won't leave you alone. But I did call him. And then I ended up joining the Mormon church, like probably 2 weeks later. I just felt something to do that. But the Mormon church saved my life. In fact, it made me become really spiritual and very connected, because being in the Mormon church, they used to say that God would answer your prayers. He would speak to you in the still small voice. So for 18 years, while I was in that church, I stopped drinking, smoking, because that was law of chastity, and no swearing. I became a new person. But it was an 18-year evolution of me. But the other thing is, I was always asking for guidance from God. So it trained me to connect to myself. And then when I left the church, then I felt this emptiness, and then I started searching for more, and hence I became on this alternative healing route. And I look back, and you can see how everything has evolved me, and you'll look back at your life and you'll see how everything has taken you to a place where you are now. So where do you want to go? Make a decision. You want to be more expansive in your energy, that you want to be more powerful in your creation of your finances, your relationships, your health, and your freedom. Just make that the priority, but don't obey the laws of what you've been told will give you that. You need to shift the energy. Right, well, that was short and sweet. Do we have any questions before I finish off? There's lots of little people, there's lots of people dropping in. And yeah, so I think if you've got any questions, you can go to my events page on Forensic Healing, where it says ask me a question, because every first Wednesday of the month at 12 noon Melbourne time, I will answer any questions. Again, but I have been doing more impromptu videos. So I hope this has been of assistance in motivating you to, a lot of you that are watching do care about your energy and do work on your energy and are helping the planet transform, because with this united, combined energy, it's moving into 5D. It's moving into our freedom. And it's you. That's where most of your peace will be, in this complete connection with yourself and complete connection to source. And then you have this incredible trust that it can provide you with anything. And you know those times that you've been spiritual and you've focused, you've been provided for. Well, go further, keep going. All right. So I'm gonna wish you freedom and peace in your heart, and wish you, expand an expansive journey and an amazing journey of this new world that's being created, that it's easy for you and it's flowing. And what I wish for you, I wish for myself. We are all connected, we are all reflecting, and I look forward to seeing you, those that are watching, and if you want to join me in Sydney 7-day live training. All right, because after that there'll only be the Belfast one when we can fly, and I have a New Zealand one as soon as the flights open up as well. And then the next one, only after that, my nose is running, Melbourne next year. Blessings and love, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.